Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. And now, Viking pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN-TV studios. Rick Olson here, and tonight the 5-1 Viking girls are looking to keep their winning ways going and remain unbeaten in the Dun St. Croix Conference as they're getting ready to take on the 4-3 Boyceville Bulldogs, who are 0-2 in the Dun St. Croix Conference. Coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Bulldogs and the Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Serrar's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll send it out to Colfax High School, where we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school girls basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks.
Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking Pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings Girls game. And now, Viking Pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN-TV studios. Rick Olson here, and tonight the 5-1 Viking girls are looking to keep their winning ways going and remain unbeaten in the Dun St. Croix Conference as they're getting ready to take on the 4-3 Boyceville Bulldogs, who are 0-2 in the Dun St. Croix Conference. Coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Bulldogs and the Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Serrar's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll send it out to Colfax High School, where we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school girls basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's girls basketball game between the Boyceville Bulldogs and the Colfax Vikings. The Vikings are looking to keep their winning ways going following their solid 47-39 win over the Durand, Arkansas Panthers last Friday. Now, in that win over the Panthers, the Vikings utilized their in-your-face defense along with some steady shooting to secure the win. Leading the way for the Vikings was 5'7" sophomore McKenna Shipman, who hit on 7 field goals, 2 of which were three-pointers, and went 7 for 10 from the free throw line for 23 points. Meadow Keltner followed by hitting on 2 three-pointers for 6 points. On the boards, the Vikings were led by Shipman, who grabbed 9 rebounds, while Jeanette Hajdukovic pulled down another 6. So far on the season, leading the way for the Vikings in scoring is McKenna Shipman, who is shooting 35% from the floor and 70% from the free throw line, while averaging nearly 16 points per game. She's followed by Jeanette Hajdukovic at over 6 points per game, and Molly Hydorn is just under 6 points per game. Now on the boards, the Vikings are led by Shipman, who's pulling down 9 rebounds per game, as well as Hajdukovic, who pulls down 6 per game, and Ainsley Olsen, who captures over 5 per game. The Boyceville Bulldogs are currently 4-3 on the season and 0-2 in the Dun St. Croix Conference, following a 44-38 loss to the Spring Valley Cardinals on Friday. The Bulldogs opened the season on a strong note, picking up 3 non-conference wins over Chautauqua Weyerhaeuser, Independence, and Gilmanton. They also picked up a non-conference win over Thorpe. Now, leading the way for the Bulldogs is senior Rachel Montgomery, who is averaging nearly 13 points per game. She's followed by Haley Hainstead, who is hitting nearly 9 points per game, while Hannah Dunn and Sarah Stoveren each contribute 8. Montgomery is leading the way on the boards for the Bulldogs, pulling down around 9 rebounds per game. Also helping on the boards is Stoveren, who is grabbing another 5 rebounds per game. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Courtney Serrar in Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, we love you always.
Everything I do.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Once again on Coach's Corner, we're talking with Viking girls head coach Courtney Serrar. And Coach, last Friday the Vikings were able to remain unbeaten in the Dun St. Croix Conference following their 47-39 victory over the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. Your comments about that game?
Yeah, I thought the girls played really hard. I thought our defense, was really good. I was just impressed with, when things weren't maybe going our way down the stretch, how we just handled it well and continued to fight, and it was a good win.
Now, again, it was that tough, aggressive Viking defense that held the Panthers down in that game. And at the risk of sounding like a broken record, can you talk a little bit about what makes that Viking defense click?
I think it's just their understanding that, they have to defend in order to win. So I think they've bought into the fact that I've, asked them to play excellent team defense, and it's worked out in our favor.
Now, today the Vikings will continue their Dun St. Croix Conference action as they take on the Boyceville Bulldogs, who are currently at 4-3, but they're 0-2 in the conference. What can you tell us about the Bulldogs?
They run, they've historically ran that swing offense that occasionally has given us trouble with, just the timing of different screens and things like that. So we have to just make sure we come ready to play and play our, style of basketball.
Well, Coach Serrar, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully the Vikings can keep that conference record unblemished.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
You are loved. You are valued. You are resilient. You got this.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. The 5-1 Vikings are looking to keep their Dun St. Croix Conference record unblemished as they prepare to take on the Boyceville Bulldogs. Now, on the other hand, the 4-3 Bulldogs would like to show that they are an improved team over last season and would love to pick up their first conference win of the season against the 4-time defending conference champion Vikings. So the stage is set for some exciting girls high school basketball, and we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV. So in just a moment, we'll send it out to Colfax High School, where our broadcast crew will bring you all the action of today's girls game between the Colfax Vikings and the Boyceville Bulldogs. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Slayton's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Slayton's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Slayton's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Slayton's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Slayton's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Colfax Viking Basketball is on the air.
And the long pass down and in by Hajdukovic.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV proudly presents tonight's Colfax Viking Girls Varsity Basketball game.
Long pass down the floor to Olsen. She stops, puts it up, she hit it!
Join us as we head out to the gym for tonight's Viking basketball.
This gets it over to the left side to Shipman, three-pointer. She hit it! McKenna Shipman with the three puts the Vikings on top, 3-2.
And welcome to Colfax High School. Dan Petro along with Jay Paul.
Looking forward to another good Dunsink Croy matchup for the Colfax girls basketball team as they host the Boyceville Bulldogs tonight. Colfax coming in undefeated in the conference, 5-1 on the season, where the Boyceville Bulldog girls are 4-3 overall, and they are looking for their first conference win tonight. So other games going on tonight in the Dunsink Croy include Durand, Arkansas is at Elk Mound. Mondovi is visiting Plum City Elmwood, and that one at Plum City High School. And Spring Valley is visiting Glenwood City there. Tonight's Colfax High School basketball game is brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Let Dr. Buckley and his friendly staff take care of your pet. Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley. Anderson Bridges, who have been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax, comfort food the way Mom used to make it. And Fit Fam Nutrition of Colfax with drinks that taste as good as their names sound, and they're healthy. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking girls and boys basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV. We'll be back with more from the pregame coming your way from Colfax after this.
Join us at the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV for exciting Colfax High School.
Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital.
Welcome back to Colfax. Taking a look at some statistics for the Boyceville ladies as they come in here. The leading scorer for Boyceville is Rachel Montgomery. She's averaging 12.8 points a game. And following her is Haley Hannestead. She is at 8.7 points a game. Sarah Stolveren has 8.2 points a game coming in, and Hannah Dunn is right trailing them closely with 7.8 points a game. As far as leading rebounders for Boyceville, again, it is Rachel Montgomery who is not only the leading scorer, but she's averaging 8.5 rebounds per game. Sarah Stolverin is averaging 4.5 rebounds a game. Abigail Schlu at 3.7, and Camby Reisimer is averaging 3.5. Leading the way for the Lady Vikings, 15.8 points a game, McKenna Shipman. And with that, she's got 6 3-point baskets as part of that. Jeanette Hajdukovic is the next leading scorer with 6.3 points a game, followed by Molly Heidorn and with 5.8, Jada Anderson at 4.3, and Jordan Bovey at 4 points per game. McKenna Shipman is the Jeanette Hajdukovic. No, McKenna Shipman is the leading rebounder for Colfax at 9 rebounds a game. Jeanette Hajdukovic has 6 rebounds a game. Ainsley Olsen 5.3, and Autumn Nigaman with 3.8. So we are nearly set to begin action tonight, and let's go down to the scorers table.
Welcome to Colfax High School for tonight's Doug St. Croix girls basketball matchup between the Boyceville Bulldogs and your Colfax Vikings. Introducing the starters first for the Bulldogs. Number 15, a senior, Rachel Montgomery. Number 20, a senior, Haley Hanstead. Number 21, a senior, Abigail Drew. Number 22, a senior, Camby Reisimer. And number 23, a junior, Hannah Dunn. The Bulldogs are led by head coach Jay Lagerstrom. And now the starting lineup for your Colfax Vikings. Number 10, a senior, Number 14 is senior, Ainsley Olsen. Number 32 is junior, Jada Anderson. Number 40 is junior, Jeanette Hajdukovic. And number 42 is junior, Hannah Shipman. The Vikings are led by head coach Fans, newsroom is at halftime for parents night. Colfax High School senior Molly Heidorn would like to remind coaches, players, and fans what it means to be a good sport.
At Colfax High School, sportsmanship is an expectation, so please let the players play, let the coaches coach, let the officials officiate, and let the spectators be positive. Thank you fans, players, and coaches for letting your sportsmanship show. Have fun watching us play.
Testing. Welcome. So we are set to begin. Colfax, wearing home white, will be moving from left to right as you look on, and the Vikings control the tip. Pass goes off on the right side, opposite side to Shipman. She'll put it up for three, and that rolls off back outside to Hydorn. Hydorn, top of the key to McKenna Shipman. That shot is missed, and trying to save it from going out of bounds is Ainsley Olson. No score. We're just underway. 24 seconds have come off the clock here in the first half as the Lady Bulldogs bring it up. Stover in across the, or check that, that's Hannah Dunn. Dunn to Hannestead. Back to the opposite side now to Dunn. Down underneath it goes up to, it goes back up to Montgomery, and her shot is missed. Vikings will bring it up the floor from outside the arch. Three-pointer for Jada Anderson doesn't go in. Rebounded by the Vikings. Reload back up and in. Nice 10-foot baseline shot by McKenna Shipman, and the Vikings are on the board 2-0. 17 minutes to go in the first half. As crossing the timeline is Hannah Dunn. Dunn off to Montgomery. She'll drive the lane, toss it out. Free throw line extended to Shu. She'll drive in, and rebounded by Shipman. Shipman quickly up the floor. Nice pass to Ainsley Olson, and misses the layup, but Shipman will reload on the left side and draw a foul, so she'll go to the free throw line. So that's the first foul for anybody here in the ball game. Shipman. First one rolls off, but she will get a second one. And McKenna Shipman's second free throw is good. And the Vikings will bring it up the floor. Full court pressure from Colfax. And we'll have a foul charged to McKenna Shipman. Boyceville trying to break that press, gets across the timeline. Rachel Montgomery up high on the left side to Hannah Dunn. To the right side of the lane. Montgomery holding, waiting for something to clear now. She'll drive in. Goes off the glass, and no good. It's rebounded by Colfax's Jada Anderson. Pass goes off on the right side to Shipman, sorry. And pass stolen away by Hannah Dunn for the Bulldogs. 3-0 Colfax, 16 minutes left, first half. Driving in Dunn. And stolen away by Colfax's Molly Hydorn. She'll bring it up the floor. Tosses it off in the near corner, goes to Ainsley Olson, and that shot missed. Rebounded by Boyceville's Haley Hannestead. Hannestead to Abigail Schlew off on the right side to Hanstead. Back up top of the key to Reisimer. Ball tipped by Colfax's Molly Hydorn, and she'll get it back to bring it to the other end of the floor. Colfax leads 3-0, 15-17 to go first half. Pass goes to Jada Anderson, free throw line right. Dish it off to the left to Hajdukovic. Back out on top, Hydorn looks at the three. She'll toss it from the free throw line back down in the far corner to Shipman. Colfax keeping it around that right side. Boyceville playing a 2-3 zone, and a three-point attempt. Hit is good for Molly Hydorn for three. And the Bulldogs quickly bring it up the floor. Doubled up. Over on the far side, pass gets loose, and Jada Anderson's going to take it back for the Vikings, off the glass and in. 8-0 Colfax. Up the floor it goes to Abigail Schlew. Schlew stops at the free throw line. Goes back out on top to Hannah Dunn. Dunn out to Reisimer. Reisimer trying to go inside. Pass is stolen by Hajdukovic. And the Vikings will bring it up the floor. It is Heidorn. Gets it back from down underneath and puts in the three. 11-0 Colfax, 14:05 to go in the first quarter. You're watching Colfax Girls Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
As you check names off your gift-giving list, Dairy State Bank encourages you to shop local as much as possible. The reasons are countless. For example, local businesses create 2 out of every 3 new jobs in the U.S. each year. There are times you could save a few cents by ordering online, but when you shop at a local store, you could be saving your community. Shop local for the holidays. It's more important than ever. Dairy State Bank. Banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Colfax. Boyceville wants to talk things over as they have the ball, and they'll take it to the other end, trailing Colfax 11-0. And up the floor, the Vikings take it. Still in the backcourt with it is Hannestead. Hannestead gets it out to Schlu. Schlu crossing it on the left side. And driving to the left, Hannestead directing traffic. Out to Reisimer, free throw line left. She'll get it in the middle, Rachel Montgomery, and a three-point attempt out by Haley Hannestead. Missed, rebounded by Colfax's Ainsley Olsen. And bringing it up the floor, Kaysen Goodell. Back in the middle out to J.C. Bovey. Right side, free throw line extended. Driving in, Ainsley Olsen. Layup just rolls out. Ball go out of bounds off Boyceville, though. 13-13 remaining, first half. 11-0 Colfax. Inbounds pass goes right to Ainsley Olsen. It rolls off, no good. Knocked out of bounds by Colfax, and Boyceville will bring it up the floor. Full court pressure applied by the Colfax Vikings. Across the timeline, Jade Stevens now back out on top to Hannestead. And ball goes out of bounds off Colfax. So ball slapped and goes out on top to Stevens. Stolen away by Colfax. Bringing it up the floor is Meadow Keltner. And it goes back out of bounds, back to the Bulldogs. 11-0 Colfax, 12:54 remaining, first half. Into the backcourt, it goes to Abigail Schlu. Back to Jade Stevens. Stevens at the center jump circle goes out to Rachel Montgomery. Montgomery up to Hannestead. Over to Stevens, guarded closely by Goodell. Stevens is driving in on the baseline, loses the ball off her leg, out of bounds. Colfax will get it back. 12:28 to go, first half, 11-0, Colfax leading Boyceville. Now checking into the game, Cora Leslie for Boyceville. And she will give Jaden Stevens a break. Colfax out of the backcourt, J.C. Bovey. Fires it off left to Keltner. Keltner gets it back from across the floor in the center. Goes back out to Goodell. Colfax keeping it out on top. Driving in is Bovey. And she traveled before she got the shot up and in. So it's no good. And Boyceville gets it back. 12:06 to go, first half. 11-0 Colfax. Pass in the backcourt goes to Schlu. She'll cross the timeline. Back in the middle to Hannestead. Hannestead left side to Montgomery. Waiting for things to clear up. Colfax man-to-man defense is doing pretty well. Keeping things blocked out. And rebound tapped out to Kaysen Goodell. Goodell down the far sidelines. Drives the lane. Goes up in between a couple of players. and draws a foul on her way up, so she'll go to the free throw line for 2. 11-0, Colfax with the lead. 2 fouls for Boyceville so far, 1 for Colfax. 5'6" sophomore Kaysen Goodell on the free throw line, up and catches the back iron and off, no good. Ainsley Olson will take a break. And the second free throw is good. 12-0 Colfax, 11:36 left first half. Out of the backcourt, Rachel Montgomery. Across the timeline to Cora Leslie. Back to Montgomery to the center circle to Hanstead to set things up. Out to Rachel Montgomery. And we'll have a foul called on Autumn Nigaman. On the baseline, it is Haley Hannestead. Gets it in underneath to Abigail Schlu, but she'll have to dribble it out from underneath the basket. Give and go to Hannestead. Hannestead on the right side finds Cora Leslie open, and the Bulldogs are on the board at 11 minutes to go in the first half. It's 12-2 Colfax. Up the floor for Colfax, J.C. Bovey, and a three-point shot goes wide out, and it was last touch by Colfax, so Boyceville will bring it back out. So Abigail Schlu's going to throw it in. Guarding her closely is Autumn Nigaman. Bounces it inside to Bovey, and Colfax sends up stealing the ball. Reisemer trying to go in, and she is fouled. Nope, the ball will just go out of bounds, so Boyceville will try to bring it back in. Jaden Stevens in to Haley Hannestead. Hannestead tied up across the way by Casey Bovey in front of the Colfax bench, and it will be possession Boyceville. 10:38 to go in the first half, 12-2 Colfax out in front of Boyceville. Inbounds throw goes into Schlu. Or check that, that's Haley Hannestead. Hannestead out to Stevens. Stevens, left free throw line extended. Bounces it in the middle to Rachel Montgomery. And we'll have a jump ball. And this time the arrow going to Colfax. So Colfax will keep possession. 10:21 to go. First half. Up the floor, Stevens. Back and forth with Hannestead. Back to Hannestead. Three-point line extended. Shot falls short. Rebounded by Boyceville's Rachel Montgomery. Montgomery will pass it off to Hannestead. She'll bring it across the timeline. Pass it back over to Stevens. Back in the middle, off to the left side to Hannestead. She'll drive the baseline, put it up. Shot pulled down by McKenna Shipman. Shipman brings it up the floor, and she will draw a foul from Boyceville's Abigail Schlu. So shooting free throws is McKenna Shipman. First shot up and good. Now Ainsley Olson and Jeanette Hajdukovic check in for Colfax. Second free throw by McKenna Shipman goes up and in. And Colfax is now leading 14-2. Inbounds throw for the Bulldogs goes into Hannestead. She'll drive it along the near sidelines, dribble it into the middle, and unload it off to Jaden Stevens. She'll drive in, trying to get it over to Haley Hannestead. Hannestead goes up and is fouled on the way up. That's going to be charged to Molly Hydorn. So Molly Hydorn is going to go, or check that. That is Ashley Prestrud or Haley Hanstead, sorry. Haley Hanstead on the free throw line. Misses the free throw. 9:28 remaining, first half. Colfax up 14-2 over Boyceville. Second one goes in, and we'll have a substitution for the Lady Bulldogs. Cambry Reimer will replace Rachel Montgomery. Colfax coming out of the backcourt, across the 10-second line. Molly Hydorn. Hydorn out to Anderson, back to Hydorn. Up top, left open is Shipman. Now they'll go back to the right side on the baseline, trying to fire a pass out to Hajdukovic. And it gets out of bounds, so Colfax will turn it over to Boyceville. Inbound bounce pass goes to Hannestead. She'll fire it up the middle to Leslie. On the left side, she took an extra step. .904 remaining, first half. Colfax bringing it up. Molly Hydorn and Jada Anderson doing the honors. Up on the left side, Hajdukovic. Back to Anderson. In the middle of Hydorn, back out to Ainsley Olsen. She puts up a 13-footer, missed, rebounded by Colfax's Haley Hanstead. Hannestead dribbles to the top of the key and lets a shot fly, catches the front iron, back, doesn't go, rebounded by Colfax's McKenna Shipman. Shipman up the floor, fires the pass out to Jada Anderson. Back in the middle to Hydorn. Anderson near corner to Ainsley Olsen, and she's called for traveling. 8:24 to go, first half. Colfax 14, Boyceville 3. Dunn St. Croix girls basketball action. Bounce pass goes in to Keltner. And being harassed, Jada Anderson with the steal tries to get it back into McKenna Shipman. Ball goes out of bounds off the Bulldogs. Colfax will keep it underneath their own basket. Free throw line extended right. It goes into McKenna Shipman. Shipman shot missed, rebounded by Boyceville's Cambry Reisemer. To Jaden Stevens, free throw line extended left, back in the middle to Reisemer. Off on the far side to Hannestead. Back out to Dunn, to Stevens. Inbounds, in the lane, it goes into Reisemer. She misses the shot, pulled down by Colfax. Coming out with it is Shipman. Shipman driving down the right side, tosses it out to Anderson. Over to Hydorn. She'll drive over to the left, trying to get it inside. They'll move the ball back out. Try the other side now, going to Anderson. To Hydorn. Hydorn to Shipman. Shipman gets it back. Three-point shot. Good. 17-3 Colfax, 7:15 to go, first half. And Boyceville with some ball handling trouble. That is going to go out of bounds and back to the Lady Vikings. 7:11 to go. First half, 17-3. Colfax leading Boyceville. Each team has 3 fouls in this half, so bonus not approaching too quickly here. Off on the right side, Anderson. Back in the middle to Shipman. Anderson gets it back, three-pointer, bounces off the iron, rebounded by Schlew of the Boyceville Bulldogs. Schlew out to Dunn. Dunn to Hannestead. Hannestead back to Dunn. Hannestead will drive the lane this time. And driving in, Dunn will go all the way underneath the basket, pass it underneath to Leslie. Cora Leslie tied up, getting the count, and a timeout called by Boyceville. This is a full timeout with 6:27 to go in the first half. It's Colfax 17, Boyceville 3. You're watching Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
The Colfax Lady Vikings are out in front of Boyceville's Lady Bulldogs, 17-3. We're in the first half. Vikings break their huddle. Boyceville heads out to the court as well. They'll get things set up. Ball's going to be handed to Hannah Dunn to start things out. She'll toss it in to Haley Hannestead. She'll drive it from the half-court line, go up on the left side, and is called for traveling. 6:21 to go in the first half, and Colfax going to bring it up the floor with a 17-3 lead. Rachel Montgomery back in the game for Cambry Reisemer for the Bulldogs. Bovey back out. Cross court to Shipman. Shipman for three. Hits the iron. Rebound pulled down by Rachel Montgomery. Montgomery to Hannestead. Hannestead out to Schlu. And the shot blocked from Schlu, and it goes out of bounds off one of the Lady Vikings. So 5:52 to go. First half, it's 17-3 Colfax. Underneath Boyceville's basket on the left side, Hannah Dunn. Dunn up once, rolls off again, rebounded by McKenna Shipman. Shipman will quickly bring it up the floor for Colfax, dishes it off in the corner to Meadow Keltner. That shot missed. Rebound pulled out by Abigail Schlu. Schlu tosses it to Hannestead. Hannestead will go right to left. Doubled up on and on the floor with the ball. And stolen back by Colfax, Rachel Montgomery. Montgomery out to Dunn. Dunn will drive, put it up from 3-point land, missed it, and it's rebounded by Colfax's Autumn Nigaman. Coming up on 5 minutes left in the first half, Colfax with a big lead. From the corner of the lane, McKenna Shipman swishes it in. 10 points for McKenna Shipman tonight. And driving in, Rachel Montgomery. Montgomery's going to go up. Ball goes into the air, and it is taken away by Colfax. Autumn Nigaman comes up with it. To Bovey. She'll drive it up the floor, gives it to Keltner. And stolen by Boyceville. Abigail Schlu going to try to take it to the other end. Fouled on the way in. And that foul is going to be charged to Kaysen Goodell. That is her first. So Abigail Schlu on the free throw line for 2 for Boyceville. First shot, catches the back iron, rolls off. 4:29, first half, 19-3 Colfax. Second one bounces up and in. 19-4 Colfax with the lead, 4:25 to go first half. As Bovey up the floor with it, top of the key. She'll send it off to the left side to Keltner. Back to Bovey. On the near corner, back out to Bovey. Around the top, Now trying to go up. Autumn Nigaman, a 13-footer missed. And coming up with a loose ball is Rachel Montgomery of Boyceville. Montgomery to Haley Hanstead. She has it swatted back by Goodell. She'll get across the timeline, though. Out to Stevens. Drive it in. Ball went off Colfax. And we've got a fleet of Lady Vikings coming in. 3:45 remaining. First half, it's 19-4. Colfax leading Boyceville. And inbounds pass attempt for Rachel Montgomery gets by her and out of bounds. Colfax will bring it up. Jada Anderson tosses it in to Molly Hydorn. Hydorn back to Anderson. Free throw line extended left. Now they go to the other side to Shipman. Down underneath to Hajdukovic. She tries to get it back in the middle to Ainsley Olsen. And Ainsley Olsen will be charged with a foul for Colfax. That's her first. The team's fifth of the first half. Inbounds throw goes to Boyceville's Meadow Keltner. Or check that. That is Haley Hanstead for Boyceville. Up out to Jada Stevens. Stevens' shot missed, rebounded by Hajdukovic. Up the floor to Keltner. 4-3. Nigaman, or check that. That's McKenna Shipman. The three-pointer, that's 13 points for her tonight. And driving up for Boyceville, Rachel Montgomery. Stops halfway down toward the four corner, gives it to Cora Leslie, back out on top to Haley Hanstead. Hanstead out to Schlew. And the rebound pulled out of there by Colfax's Shipman. She'll bring it up the floor. Shipman up from 10, rolls off, missed. Ball loose, recovered by Hajdukovic. Now outside the three-point arch for the Vikings, Shipman, and it's no good. Boyceville driving up. That's Hannestead. Trying to tie her up, Jada Anderson. From the top of the key, the shot by Boyceville missed. Rebound goes up and in, or goes up, but is missed. Rachel Montgomery called for traveling anyway. So inbounds to Molly Hydorn. Vikings will set it up again. To Anderson. Down underneath to Ainsley Olsen. Outside far corner to Simpson. Shots missed. Rebounded by Boyceville's Haley Hanstead. She'll bring it up the floor. Hannestead out to Cora Leslie. And Jada Stevens double dribbled the ball. 1:44 remains in the first half. Colfax with a 22-4 lead over the Boyceville Lady Bulldogs. Across the timeline, it's Molly Hydorn. Hydorn out to Anderson. Over to Hajdukovic. Back to Anderson. She'll dribble it once. Back out on top. Hydorn will look at one, drive in from 13. Looks to pass the ball, and it's stolen away. Jump ball. Boyceville will have it. 1:22 left, first half. Colfax 22. Boyceville 4. Out of the backcourt, Haley Hannestead. Her pass is tipped, but manages to get to Cora Leslie, and it's stolen away by Hajdukovic of the Vikings. Back outside to Jade Anderson outside the arch. Ainsley Olsen for three, missed. Reload Hajdukovic. Hajdukovic goes back up. And foul's going to be charged to Hajdukovic. They're going to call her for a player control foul. Coming up on a minute left in the half. Ball tied up again. This time it's going to Colfax. So to throw it in for Colfax is Jada Anderson. Anderson tosses it in to Molly Hydorn. Hydorn out to Simpson, back to Hydorn. And around the top, they keep going with it. Holding it for one. Gets it inside. Hajdukovic open. Puts in the layup left to right. 40 seconds remaining in the half. Bounce pass to Rachel Montgomery. Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll go off Colfax. Boyceville will keep it on their end. .4 seconds left in the first half. Inbounds pass goes to Haley Hanstead. She'll bounce it out on top to Jaden Stevens. Stevens back to Hanstead. Hanstead and has the ball tipped away, but Cora Leslie will pass it. Goes over to Hanstead. Down inside it goes to Abigail Schlew. Up from the lane, Rachel Montgomery puts in the shot and the basket for the Boyceville ladies, 24-6. Colfax with the lead. Colfax with one last shot, and up with it is McKenna Simpson. Ball rolls out, and that is the end of the first half. With the score, the Colfax Viking Girls 24, the Boyceville Bulldogs 6. Now stay tuned for halftime programming. You are listening to, or you are watching Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Time now for Viking Halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Jordan Bovey. And Jordan is a freshman here at Colfax High School. And Jordan, we know that you play basketball, but are you involved in any other activities here at school?
Yeah, I play volleyball also.
And what kind of an experience was that for you this year?
It was fun.
You had a good time?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has that been for you?
I started in, I think, first grade, and it's just been fun all the way through, getting to know everyone, and yeah.
Okay. Now, what's the most important thing that you've learned so far playing basketball?
To not give up, to be a team player, and to not get down on your other teammates just because they made one bad call.
Or, yeah, everybody makes a mistake, so if somebody kind of makes a bad shot, don't be getting on their case. It's only going to make it worse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when you're not playing basketball, you're not here at school, what are some other things that interest you or keep you occupied?
Probably just volleyball. I don't really know.
How about out of school? What do you do when you're not in school?
I don't. Just nothing.
Just be Jordan.
Hang out with friends.
Yeah, there you go. Hang out with friends and be Jordan. All right. I've got some rapid fire questions for you. Okay. All right, hang on now. Here we go. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Cookies.
Which kind?
Chocolate chip.
Another one of the bunch. Okay. Chocolate chip cookies. Your favorite color and why?
Pink. I don't know why. Just
okay. All right. And if you could have a superpower, what do you think your superpower would be?
I would like to fly.
Okay.
Cool.
It would be cool, wouldn't it? Now, of course, if you had the ability to fly, you have to have a superhero name to go with that. So what do you think Jordan's superhero name would be? And Air Jordan has already been taken.
I don't know. Jumping Jordan?
Jumping Jordan, that works. Okay. You could almost use the same insignia that he used for Air Jordan for that one. Yeah, that would work. Your favorite NBA or WNBA team?
Probably the Bucks.
Okay. How about a college team?
UConn.
All right. Is there a basketball player in the past at any age level who kind of inspired the way that you play your game?
That was from Colfax?
Doesn't have to be. Can be from anywhere.
Probably my sister, Jill.
Okay. All right. We're talking with Jordan Bovee on Viking Profile. And Jordan, what are your plans for after high school? Now, bearing in mind you're a freshman and these plans can change.
I would probably like to be a realtor, sell houses.
Okay. All right. How about a shout out to your family?
Shout out to my dad and my mom, my sisters. I don't know.
Okay, sure. So when people watch Viking games, what number are you going to be wearing and what position will you play?
I'll be the point guard. I'm not sure what number though.
Okay. We want to thank Jordan Bovee for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next is more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
You're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
Welcome to Colfax High School. Welcome back. The Lady Vikings have a 24-6 lead over the Boyceville Bulldogs here in Dunn St. Croix Conference action. Let's see. So we invite you to join us for future broadcasts. Join NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network. On Friday, December 16th, as the Viking girls travel to Spring Valley to take on the Spring Valley Cardinals. Live coverage will begin with Viking pregame beginning at 6:50 p.m., and that'll be followed by all the live play-by-play action. That's Colfax Girls Basketball on Tuesday, December 13th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. We will join the boys as they take on the Boyceville Bulldogs right back here on Thursday night. Live coverage will begin with Viking pregame beginning at approximately 8:15, and that will be followed by all the live play-by-play action. That's Colfax boys basketball Thursday night on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. So other conference matchups tonight in the Dunn St. Croix and girls basketball. Along with this one, Durand, Arkansas is at Elk Mound. Mondovi is at Plum City. And Spring Valley is at Glenwood City. So players are set to begin. There's still some time left on the clock for halftime here. It was Parents' Night for the girls basketball program. Thank you and appreciation to all of the parents who play a big part in making this work. So Boyceville will start with the ball. It is Hannah Dunn out to Haley Hannestead. Hannestead up to Abigail Schlew, free throw line left. In the middle, between Rachel Montgomery in between the wheels. Scoop pass goes to Haley Hannestead. Abigail Schlew gets it back up the top of the key. It goes to Hannah Dunn. Driving in for Boyceville, Haley Hannestead, and she is fouled on the way in. So the scoring for the Boyceville Bulldogs, Rachel Montgomery has 2, and there's a free throw apiece for Haley Hannestead and Abigail Schlew. Hannestead's first free throw swishes right in. For Colfax, leading the charge is McKenna Shipman with 13. Molly Heidorn has 6. Second free throw, good. 24-8. Colfax still with a huge lead. Molly Heidorn brings it across the center jump circle. Heidorn out to Jada Anderson, stolen away by the Bulldogs. Taken away by Hannah Dunn and company. She'll throw it to Haley Hannestead. Hannestead stops, puts it up toward the basket, and it goes right into the hands of McKenna Shipman of Colfax. Up the floor, it's Heidorn. Heidorn out to Jada Anderson. Three-point shot, good. A nice one from right in front of the Colfax bench. Full court pressure applied to the Bulldogs now by Colfax. Reisemer gives and goes to Dunn. Dunn across the 10-second line. Throws an errant pass going past the Boyceville bench. Colfax will get it back. Molly Heidorn crosses the timeline up on the left side to McKenna Shipman. Heidorn up and in for 3. 30-8, Colfax leading Boyceville. Back up to, or down the floor to Montgomery. Montgomery tries to go to the opposite corner. Nobody there. Ball goes out. Colfax will bring it back up. From the backcourt, it's Holly Heidorn, 5'5", senior guard. Back out to Jada Anderson. Back across the court to Ainsley Olsen. Olsen gets it back. She'll look at that three-pointer. Rolls out, no good. Rebounded by Rachel Montgomery of Boyceville. Montgomery to Haley Hanstead. Hanstead out to Dunn. Top of the key to Reisimer. To Hanstead. Boyceville keeping it on top. Colfax with a tough man-to-man defense. Abigail Schlew. Shot goes up by Rachel Montgomery, and it's knocked down by the Vikings and taken back. Hydorn will bring it up the floor. She'll bounce it out to Simpson. Simpson off the glass, no good. Hejdukovic up and in on the rebound. 32-8 Colfax, 15-20 to go in the second half. Reisimer, or check that, that's Hanstead up the floor. Tosses it over to Schlew. Schlew to Montgomery. Into Hanstead. And that's stolen away by Colfax. Up the floor it goes to Hejdukovic. Layup, good. On the assist from Molly Hydorn. Hanstead for Boyceville. To Schlew. To Reisimer. Back to Schlew. She'll stop at the free throw line. Dish it off. Top of the key. Hannah Dunn. Three-point shot missed. There for the rebound, Jada Anderson. Anderson pulls back a little bit. Gives it to McKenna Shipman. She lets it go from three-point land. That bounces off and into the hands of Boyceville's Hannah Dunn. Dunn to Hanstead. Hanstead fires it in to Montgomery. Montgomery misses, and it is rebounded by Colfax's McKenna Shipman. She'll look at a three-pointer. Goes out to Hydorn. Back out top to Shipman. Shipman drives right side. Layup for two. And a timeout on the floor called by Colfax. 13:59 remaining in the second half. Colfax 36, Boyceville 8. You're watching Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
Welcome back to Colfax Girls Basketball. Dunn St. Croix action, 36-8. Colfax, the host team, out in front of visiting Boyceville. Across the timeline, it is Hanstead. Hanstead out to Schlew. Inside to Cora Leslie. It is tied up. Possession, Colfax. Inbounds throw goes into Ainsley Olson. Back to J.C. Bovey. And Bovey called for a double dribble. So Boyceville will get it back in front of the Colfax bench. It's Haley Hanstead. Give and go to Stevens. Stevenson guarded by Goodell and forced her to travel. 13:32 left in the ball game, 36-8 Colfax. Up on top, Goodell. Goodell out to Keltner. Back inside to Autumn Nigaman, and she'll put in a layup on the left side. Boyceville. Underneath their basket, baseline layup, goes over the top, reload left side, up and in for Ashley Prestrud. Jason Goodell up at the top of the key, out to Autumn Nigaman. She puts up a three-point attempt, no good, rebounded by Boyceville's Haley Hanstead. Hanstead across the timeline. Alley-oops it into Rachel Montgomery. Montgomery tied up. No, there's going to be a foul. That is going to be charged to Colfax's J.C. Bovey. That's her first, and that's Colfax's second foul of the half. Abigail Schlew rolls it in, manages to get it to Rachel Montgomery, who puts it up and in. A couple of the Viking players got tangled up, ended up on the floor there. Bovey across the 10-second line, dishes it off to Meadow Keltner. And Boyceville tries to knock the pass away. It ends up back in Kaysen Goodell's hands. She'll go forward with a stretching layup, and it is good. 40-12 Colfax. Haley Hanstead, top of the key, out to Rachel Montgomery. Montgomery, nice baseline layup on the left side for Boyceville. That is 8 points for her. Bovey across the timeline, will flip it back to Keltner. Back out to Goodell. She'll drive in. Bovey up to Goodell. Goodell drives up. Off the glass too hard, but fouled on the way in. Start making your plans to tune in to either the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service or NLW-TV for our Christmas gift to you 2022. And the first free throw just hangs on the rim and is good. We'll bring you the finest in Christmas-themed old-time radio programs. That's Christmas Eve beginning at 7 p.m. on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. So Kaysen Goodell will get a second one here. And she makes that one. 42-14, Boyceville brings it up the floor. Hannestead on the right side, bounces it into Montgomery. Montgomery goes up and over the top of Ainsley Olsen, and the loose ball is picked up by Autumn Nigaman. Bovey, J.C. Bovey across the timeline in the middle to Ainsley Olsen. And ball turned over to Boyceville. Haley Hannestead in the backcourt. Looks at one, fires it back to Stevens. Stevens out to Reismer to Hannestead. Hannestead in the lane. We'll dish it back at the top of the key to Zoli Hellingdrung. She'll pull up with a shot. Shots missed. Rebounded by Autumn Nigaman. Goodell stops free throw line right. Out to J.C. Bovey. Back down in the corner. Goodell will get it. Goodell trying to get it down underneath. Gets it to J.C. Bovey. She'll go up on the left side for an attempted layup, and she is fouled on the way up by Boyceville's Cambry Reisimer. 2 team fouls apiece here in the second half. First free throw rolls off the back from Kaysen Goodell. Looks, sends the second one skyward, that one up and in. 43-14 on a 29-point Colfax lead. 10.5 minutes to go. Rachel Montgomery into Hellendrung. Fires down underneath, back to Montgomery. Her shot missed. Great rebound underneath by McKenna Shipman. Shipman fires it up the floor to Kaysen Goodell. She tries to save it from going out of bounds, but cannot. Boyceville will bring it back. Dribbling out of the backcourt, Keltner will bounce pass it to Montgomery. Montgomery up on the left side to Hannestead. Hannestead to Hellendrung. Trying to go forward without the ball was Hannah Dunn, and ball goes out of bounds off Colfax. Into Montgomery, pulls up from 10, rolls out, missed. Rebound by Colfax's J.C. Bovey. Bovey looking for someone to send it to up the floor. She'll go backwards to Shipman. Shipman with a layup on the right side, missed. Rebounded by Boyceville, Zoe Hellendrung. Bounce pass to Reisimer. On the near side, ball stolen by McKenna Shipman. Shipman 2-on-2, left side, layup, good. 45-14, Colfax. 9 minutes, coming up on 9 minutes to go in the second half. Hannah Dunn trying to do something with the ball, and getting in there to try to steal it is Autumn Nigaman. And she is going to be charged with a foul. That is Autumn Nigaman's second foul. That is the third team foul for Colfax. Haley Hannestead across the center jump circle for Colfax. Hannestead bounces it out to Hannah Dunn. Dunn to Hannestead. Hannestead is going to be fouled as she goes in for the shot by Colfax's. I believe it's going to be on Meadow Keltner. That is her first, and Colfax's fourth foul of the second half. Inbounds throw to Hannestead. Hannestead looks at a three ball. Try to get it in to Montgomery. It's stolen away by Shipman. Shipman up the floor. It goes to Colfax's J.C. Bovey, who puts it in for a bucket. 47-14 Colfax, 8:25 to go. Second half. Outside the arch for Colfax, it's Hannestead. Her shot falls short. There to try to put it back up is Montgomery. Her shot doesn't go. Rebounded by Colfax's Autumn Nigaman. Nigaman out to Keltner, or check that. That's J.C. Bovey. Top of the key, McKenna Shipman for three. No good. Colfax bounces it out to Autumn Nigaman. She puts it up. That shot doesn't go. It's rebounded by Haley Hannestead. Hannestead between the jump circle and the key, stops, gives it back to Hannah Dunn. Her shot missed. And rebound by teammate Zoe Hellendrung, and it's taken away by the Vikings. Up the floor, it's J.C. Bovey, or check that, that's McKenna Shipman. Tries a center to left side layup, and that's missed. Rebounded by Boyceville. Hannestead up the floor for the Bulldogs. Loses the ball out of bounds. And we have three apiece as far as substitutes coming in. 7:22 to go, second half. Colfax 47, Boyceville 14. Jordan Bovey flips it out to Sierra Shipman. Back down to the near corner to Meadow Keltner. Ball gets loose. Boyceville bats it away. Colfax keeps it. Jordan Bovey. Jordan Bovey out to Sierra Shipman. Shipman goes up and puts it in. 49-14 Colfax. Zoe Hellendrung out to Jaden Stevens. Up high on the left side. Back in the middle out to Reisman. Left open is Hellendrung. She'll go up and put it in with a layup on the right side. Jordan Bovey across the 10-second line and center jump circle for the Bulldogs. Keeps it up on top. Fires it to Sierra Shipman up to Bryn Sikora. Driving back, Meadow Keltner. Autumn Nigaman top of the key, back to Keltner. Or Shipman, sorry. Back out on the far side, it goes to Meadow Keltner. Her shot missed, but the reload up and in on the left side by Sierra Shipman. She is a freshman. 5:54 left to go in the ball game. Boyceville with the ball. Cora Leslie gets it back in from Alexis Schlew, and the Bulldogs get some more points on the board, but it's 51-18 Colfax. Sierra Shipman down to Keltner. And we'll have a foul called on Colfax's Sierra Shipman. That's her first. The Vikings' 5th team foul. Jaden Stevens across the timeline. Back out to Chelsea Holden. Stevens drives up, puts it up. She's fouled on the way in by Kaysen Goodell. So Jaden Stevens, junior for Boyceville, with a pair of free throws, puts up the first, missed. Jaden Stevens with the second for Boyceville. That one goes in. 51-19. Colfax out in front of Boyceville. Dunn St. Croix girls basketball action from Colfax. Dan Petshaw here with Jay Fall. Jordan Bovey out and underneath. The reload goes up and in, and Colfax stretches their lead, 53-19. Off on the right side, it's Stevens. Jaden Stevens into Leslie. Back out on top to Jaden Stevens. Ball tipped, nearly goes out of bounds, but saving it from going out in the corner is Cora Leslie for Boyceville. Leslie out to Jaden Stevens. Stevens pulls up, 16-footer, missed, rebounded by Colfax's Sierra Shipman. Shipman up to Goodell. Goodell out to Bryn Sikora. That shot's missed and ends up in the hands of Zoe Helendrung of Boyceville. Coming up on 4 minutes remaining in the second half. Colfax 53, Boyceville 19. Pass goes out to Helendrung. Helendrung out to Stevens. Stevens nearly tied up, and the ball goes off Colfax apparently, and Boyceville will keep it. Boyceville setting things up here with another fleet of substitutions. So to throw it in bounds will be Abigail Schlew. She's right in front of the Boyceville bench. Now they have 5 players on the court. And it goes to Haley Hanstead. Hanstead tosses it back to Montgomery. Montgomery out to Schlew. And it looks like the starting group's back in for Boyceville. Rachel Montgomery down near side to Schlew. Schlew out to Haley Hanstead. Hanstead goes up with a shot. It was tipped by Colfax's Meadow Keltner. Boyceville will keep it underneath their own basket. 3:28 remaining, second half. Inbounds, it goes to Boyceville's Rachel Montgomery. And Boyceville has the possession. Nope, we'll have a foul. That's going to be charged to Autumn Nigaman, and that is her third. That is Boyceville's 7th foul of the half, so Boyceville is going to go to the free throw line for the bonus. First of the 1-and-1 is good. 53-20, Colfax leads Boyceville. 9 points tonight for Rachel Montgomery. That's point number 10. And 21 for Boyceville. 53 for Colfax. Kaysen Goodell. Goodell in the middle, goes out to Jordan Bovey and nails it for 3. Nice shot from the top of the wheel. Bringing it up for Boyceville, Haley Hanstead. Hanstead give and go out to Montgomery. Montgomery driving in, lots of traffic, ball on the floor, and a scuffle for it. Jump ball, it will go to Boyceville on the possession arrow. We'll have the Colfax boys on NLW2 and Viking TV on Thursday night. They'll host the Bulldogs right back here. And ball stolen away by Colfax. Bringing it up the floor, it's Bovey. Bovey out to J.C. Bovey. And J.C. Bovey with a layup on the left side, makes it, and is fouled on the way in. That foul is going to be charged to Haley Anstead of, well, let's check that. Nope, that's going to. And finishing off the three-point play, J.C. Bovey. Bulldogs bring it up the floor. It's Hannestead. Hannestead bounces it up on top to Schlu. Schlu pulls back between the wheels. It's back out to Schlu. She'll bounce it over to Jaden Traxler. Back out to Haley Hanstead. Hannestead guarded closely by Kaysen Goodell. Back up on top to Schlu. Coming up on 2 minutes left in tonight's game. Ball tapped. It goes into the backcourt, but Boyceville can still bring it out. Haley Hanstead stops. Back out to Schlu. And we have a full timeout on the floor. So we have 1:50 remaining in the second half. It is Colfax 59, Boyceville 21. You're watching Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
As you check names off your gift-giving list, Derry State Bank encourages you to shop local as much as possible. The reasons are countless. For example, local businesses create 2 out of every 3 new jobs in the U.S. each year. There are times you could save a few cents by ordering online, but when you shop at a local store, you could be saving your community. Shop local for the holidays. It's more important than ever. Derry State Bank. Banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Ball up top for the Bulldogs. Throws it past Jaden Traxler. But it was tipped by Colfax. Boyceville will keep it on their end. It's Abigail Schlu. Schlu to Hellendrung. Hellendrung up to Cora Leslie. Leslie to Alexis Schlu. Down underneath, open, getting a little push underneath there was Cora Leslie. That foul is going to be charged to Colfax's Autumn Nigaman, and that is her 4th of the night. 1.5 minutes remaining in tonight's game. Cora Leslie, first free throw, missed. looks skyward, sends the second one up. That one rolls off, and it's rebounded by Colfax's Jordan Bovey. Bovey up to Shipman. Shipman to J.C. Bovey. Outside the arch, Autumn Nigaman. And the rebound pulled down by Alexis Schlew of Boyceville. Helen Drung off to Leslie. Leslie looking around underneath will fire left to Schlew. Back out to Helen Drung. To Schlew. Boyceville back and forth. Going up, ball tipped away. Autumn Nigaman comes up with the rebound for Boyceville. J.C. Bovey will drive it up the floor. Bovey. Up to Jordan Bovey. To J.C. Bovey. Colfax just running clock out here as they've got a big 59-21 lead. J.C. Bovey. Bryn Sikora. Pick up to Sierra Shipman. Autumn Nigaman to J.C. Bovey. Back out on top to Jordan Bovey. To Bryn Sikora. And tonight's game is done. 59-21. The Colfax Lady Vikings defeat the Boyceville Bulldogs. We invite you now to stay tuned for our post-game programming. You're watching Colfax Girls Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight, both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back, because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for Colfax Viking Girls Basketball. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Post Game, where we'll take a look back at today's Viking game.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are, they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Time now for Viking Postgame, with a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Girls game. And now, Viking Postgame.
If you've been admiring the freshly groomed look of a baseball field, or the stunning appearance of a golf course, remember you too can have along with the same beauty by simply calling Midwest Environmental Consultants. Their professional lawn care experts can bring your lawn to its full beauty and appearance. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your lawn the showplace of the neighborhood.
Welcome back to Colfax High School, where the Lady Vikings have just defeated the Boyceville Bulldogs by a score of 59-21. That improves Colfax's conference record to 3-0. They are 6-1 on the season and doing well. The Boyceville Bulldogs still looking for conference win number 1, and they are at 4-4 on the season. So the final 59-21, Colfax over Boyceville. And Dan Petcho, how did we get there?
Yeah, here's the scores for the Boyceville Bulldogs tonight. They're led by number 15, Rachel Montgomery, with 11. We had Haley Hannestead with 3. We had Ashley Presrud, Zoe Helen Drung, Jaden Trexler and Cora Leslie with 2. And Jada Stevens with 1. For the Colfax Vikings, they're led by number 42, McKenna Shipman. She had 17, followed by Jeanette Hajdukovic with 6. We had JC Bowie with 5. We had Kason Gadell with 5. We had Jordan Bovey with 4. Jade Anderson with 5, if I didn't say that. Molly Hydron with 9. And then we had Autumn Nigerman with 2. Jordan Bovey with 2. And Bryn Sikora with 2.
Okay. Colfax head coach Courtney Sauerauer joins us. And Courtney, another great win for your team tonight.
Yeah, I thought we played great defense. First half we didn't shoot the ball very well, but they really struggled to score, and we kind of capitalized towards the end of the first half. So I was excited.
Okay. It was another parents' night and a great night to get to see some of the other players on your squad.
Yeah, I definitely thought that everybody who saw the floor contributed. Lots of good things. Everybody who stepped on the floor did what I asked them to do. So it was a good team win, good minutes for those kids who, maybe don't play a ton of varsity minutes. It's always good to see those 3 freshmen in there. So I was happy.
Great. And who's up next for you? What do you expect?
We have Spring Valley on Friday. So I think, we'll see 2-3 again. They have some big kids inside. They have a point guard and that Ducklow girl that I really like. So. But I know Molly will do a good job on her. So,
Coach, congratulations. Thanks for coming up and talking with us.
Yeah, thanks.
Courtney Sauer, the head coach of the Colfax Lady Vikings, as the Vikings won tonight by a score of 59-21. Tonight's Colfax High School basketball game is brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Let Dr. Buckley and his friendly staff take care of your pet. Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley. Anderson Bridges, who have been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Comfort food the way Mom used to make it. And Fit and Fam Nutrition of Colfax, with drinks that taste as good as their names sound. Plus, they're healthy. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors. For Dan Petchow, I'm Jay Fall. Thanks a lot for joining us tonight. Colfax Vikings Girls Basketball is coming to you on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Girls game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.